It's Thursday, y'all. It is another episode of the Late Night Vision Show, episode 295. And you got two guys right here. If you're tuning in to the Late Night Vision Show, I am one half of the show. And the other half, the owner of Outdoor Legacy Gear, the man that knows more about ranking hogs, danking dogs, and cranking logs more than anybody else on this planet, Mr. Jason Robertson.
I have no idea if that was a compliment or an insult, but I'm still going back to
Definitely
it's
a compliment.
Okay. Well, I was a little concerned because I was still thrown off when you said you've got two guys here, and I didn't know if like there was some reason that people would look at us and think we weren't guys, but I don't know. You had me really. I was hung up on that. I mean,
well, two guys here that know all about this kind of stuff. Well, we talk about two of those. We talk about hogs and coyotes here on the show, but we have. I guess we need to celebrate because we got the new year coming up. So I hope everybody had a great Christmas and looking forward to the new year and everybody staying safe out there. But we have our last best of thermal scope show that we're doing right now. So the best high-end thermal scopes.
So we do. Now, we do have some more best ofs, but we're finishing 2023 off with a bang with the high-end scopes. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. But you're right. We do have some more best of coming, though. We're going to do the best handhelds, thermal handhelds, digital night vision. So I think that's about it. So we got a couple more of these left in the bag, but we are going to go out for New Year's with a bang, with the big boys, with the expensive scopes. But it's going to be it's an interesting list today. But
yeah, and there's going to need to be some explanation on this high-end thermal list before we jump into it because of the complexity of all of this going on in the contenders. I want to say a couple things. First of all, if you're looking for a brand new night vision or thermal optic, there are a lot of you that call. I would say so many of y'all that call in and say, I watch the show, love the show. And you said to call if I'm looking for a scope and I'm looking for a scope and I need your help. So thank y'all. But you can call 877-350-1818. OutdoorLegacyGear.com is the website. You can call and talk to us if you have questions about this stuff. You're going to talk to one of the ladies in the office first, whether it be Jessica, Angela, or Michaela, and they're going to direct you to one of us. So if you have questions about a purchase and you're looking to purchase a new optic, we would love to help you out. Just give us a call. Second thing is, when we go through all the, and this kind of a disclaimer we give for each one of these shows, these are our favorites. So we're listing the contenders in the best high-end thermal scope category. Our list might look different than somebody else's list. Our recommendations might be, or our favorites might be different than somebody else. And if you call in and you're looking for a scope, and we talk about where you're hunting, the type of hunt you're doing, the platform you're using, all of these different factors, and we recommend a scope, it may not be one of the scopes that we picked as our favorite, because these are scopes that we use in our own conditions, in our own applications, on our properties and stuff that we like based on what we do. And what Jason and I do, the type of hunting, might be a little bit different than you. You know, we are in East Texas, that it's a little bit more confined space, a lot more wooded than a lot of areas in the field. So if you're in South Dakota and you're hunting 1,000-acre, plots of land with no trees and nothing around, we might recommend something a little bit different. But I'll say this, if they are on this list, they are worthy enough to be recommended to anybody to go hunting with. So with that being said, I think we jump right into it and run down the list.
So I'm going to give not a disclaimer, but an explanation. So this is a complicated list. It's a complicated show. And I cannot promise you that the way we're doing it this year is the way it's going to be next year or in the future. Assuming, good Lord willing, that we keep doing these shows. The issue is we've got I'm going to explain this in a minute, but we got a couple scopes here really that are in the $6,000 range. We've got about 3 in the $7,000 range. Got a couple here in this 8 to 9,000. So there's really just a couple scopes in each of these very high end, expensive. Well, I understand that this is going to be more than a lot of people want to spend, but in these categories. And we've always just lumped everything above $6,000 together and called it high end. Well, what complicates this even more now is we've reached the point where there are two optics on this list that are above a 640 by 480 high resolution. That's what we've always said. Oh, high resolution, 640 by 480. As time goes on, I think there's going to be a day that the last 10 years that we've talked about 640 being high resolution, we'll probably wish that we could go back and edit all that and say that it was medium resolution. but right now
yeah.
we've got what we're kind of calling HD or ultra high resolution, which is these 1024 by 768, 1280 resolution. So really, really, really high resolution optics. And this is new, guys. I mean, last year we had one of these with the Infrared Outdoor RS75. I think it was on our list last year, right? It was here. Yeah. So it was here last year. This year we've got another one to add to the list. I'm going to say this up front. It is not fair to include these two scopes on this list. I get it. It is not. It doesn't make any sense. And you go, then why are you doing it? Well, we're doing it because there's just two of them. And we kind of hate to start a whole new category for two scopes. I do believe that in the future, there will be more of these. I don't know.
Well, then it's like, do you create a 1280 category and a 1024
Correct.
category and a 6? I mean, it's just way over.
Yeah, and so right now, we're going to tell you guys, we are, like most things we do, by the seat of our pants. We discussed this. We talked about it at length. We talked about breaking these out. And we're just like, listen, let's just lump all this together. And I get it. We're going to talk about a scope that's 16,000 and a scope that's 6,500. Those are just, it's totally unfair. And we know that. But we just think this is the only way we could really come up with to do it this year. So that's what we're going to do. As there gets to be more of these HD or ultra high resolution optics, there absolutely will become a category for them. So anyway, and again, we didn't even want to just break it again by price because we get these categories that have two scopes in it or three scopes. That doesn't work either. So this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right. That's my disclaimer on this. As Hans mentioned, this is our list. These are the brands and the optics that we believe deserve to be on here. Any of these optics are absolutely fantastic. And I'm just going to kind of jump in here and talk about them real briefly. I'm going to read the list to you. And then we're going to get into our choices of our honorable mention and our number one top pick for the high-end, best Big Daddy thermal scope of them all. So here it is. All right. Starting here, we got the Infrared Outdoor. It's the Rico Pro. It's the RH50P. This unit is very interesting because it's the only scope on here that is a dual field of view. Basically what that means is that it has the ability to, it starts at a 1.5 power base magnification, and you can twist the knob, and what it does is it rolls in another lens, and it optically makes the magnification go to 3 power. So it doubles it. Again, this is not digital zoom that all the scopes have. This is also not, it's not true optical zoom in between, like continuous. It's not 1.5, 1.6. No, it's 1.5 power, roll it over, goes to 3 power. Really cool feature. We've said this, go on the record. I'll say it again. I think this is the way of the future as well. I think we'll see more and more of these optics as time goes on because it's fantastic. The RH50P is $64.99. I honestly believe, I'm going to say this without even really looking over the rest of this list well, I think this is the most underappreciated scope on this list. This scope is a 2-in-1. It does a whole lot of things. I would like to pick this scope as my favorite, but I'm going to go on. I'm going to go on. All right. Next, we've got the Envision Optics. It's the Knox 35. That is their small, compact optic. It is a little bitty thing, a really, really nice scope. It's 2.5 power base mag, and it is $6,795.
We did a whole show about the Knox 35 and how it's probably the most versatile scope on this list. Being you can helmet mount it. It's small enough you could use it as a scanner. You can mount it on a rifle. It's got a good enough picture. You can, shoot coyotes at 300 yards. You can shoot. It's got a wide enough field of view. You can shoot hogs at 20
It's a
yards.
good optic.
It's a fantastic, one of my favorite Envision optics.
And it takes an 18650 battery, so you know we
Yep,
like it.
absolutely.
So, all right, moving on. We got the Infrared Outdoor Hybrid 640 50 millimeter. This unit's a 3-power base magnification, and it's $6,999. This unit does a little bit of everything. So it's a really cool scope, and that's what most people are going to use it for. Does have the ability in some situations to be used as a clip-on in front of a daytime scope. It's got some limited capabilities there. We really think it's just a very, very good image quality for a dedicated scope, and that's generally how we promote it and sell it. I'm going to put this on here. I think it's probably going away. I think it's just about there already, but that is the iRay USA Alpha. That's a 3-power for $69.99. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I'm kind of crossing a little line through it. It's a cool scope, but it's kind of at the end of its life cycle. Another optic, I don't even know. I'm going to put it on here. Probably not going to mention it again. And that's the Envision Optics Halo LR. That is 3.5 power, 3.5 power, and it's $74.95. That optic, after Envision came out with these next optics I'm going to read, which are the Halo X line. They have video recording, 18650 batteries, all this. The Halo LR really just fell by the wayside because it doesn't have any of those things. It uses 4 CR123A batteries. It's basically been kind of a special order optic. I don't know that we've sold one in the past year. So I'm going to put it on here as a kind of an honorable mention that it's here. It was a great scope, but it's kind of fallen by the wayside again is just a special order type scope. Next is the Envision Optics Halo X35. That is a 2.5 power base magnification optic for $7,495. And that unit does have all the video recording. It's got some capabilities for streaming and uses 18650 batteries. It's the exact same price as the Halo LR, so that's probably why the LR is just kind of gone away now. All right, here's one. Brand new, exciting scope. The Pulsar Thermion 2 XL50 LRF. That is a 1024 by 768 HD resolution, 12 micron. It is a 1.75 power base magnification, and it's $7,999. Guys, we're going to be talking more about this scope here in just a minute. This is Pulsar, their first, move into the resolution above 640. We've reviewed this scope on here, talked about it. Again, we're going to talk about it some more in just a minute. Next, another name that we have heard several times, Envision Optics. It is the Halo X50. That is a 3.5 power base magnification optic, and it is $8,495. Exact same thing as the Halo X35, except it's a 3.5 power versus the 35's 2.5 power. And then we roll right into the Envision Optics Halo XRF. This is the laser rangefinder version of the Halo X50. It's still 3.5 power. It looks the same. They just added a laser rangefinder on the side of it. $1,000 more, $9,495. And then last but not least, actually most, is the Infrared Outdoor Ricoh RS75. This is the first thermal optic on the market, a hunting thermal optic, rifle scope on the market we've ever seen that was above a 640, and it is a 1280 ultra high resolution. It's a 2-power base magnification. This scope last year was $17.99. Right now it's on sale for $15.99, and we've even seen some prices a little bit cheaper than that. There's some promos going on around Black Friday. Right now it's running at $15,999. And I know what you're saying. $16,000 for a thermal scope. My pickup truck costs that. My side by side cost. I get it.
Every year, or like they have I don't know if you ever seen it, the Neiman Marcus catalog, where you can look in there and like buy a jet or just these super yachts. I figure it seems like on one of those pages, the RS-75 would be in that Neiman Marcus catalog.
Yeah, so I want to say this. I know there's some guys that have I said, hey, listen, this thing was 18 grand last year. It's 16 now. It's been less than this, on the sale. And there's some guys kind of up in arms. I guess can't believe it. Listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say as nicely as I can, but it's true. If you're buying this scope, you're not concerned about what the cost is, and you're not concerned that the price is going to come down. That's just all I know to say, because everybody who buys this knows that this price eventually will come down because it's new technology. We talked about that when this optic came out. It's like the first flat screen TV. It's like the first LCD screen. But it's unbelievable. So again, I don't want to. We'll get back. There's plenty of time to talk about that. But there's your list. There's basically. I'm gonna take off the Alpha and the Halo LR just because they're not really selling anymore. So that leaves us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 optics, with 2 of those being 1024 and 1280. So a very good list. And again, we know it's not fair. 6,500 and 16,000 are not fair.
Yeah. There's a lot of price gap difference. And again, I've recommended several scopes to people on this list that aren't our winners this week. So I would say, this week being a little bit more unusual than the past because we knew that our picks were going to be the same. It's pretty clear. There's not a lot of
there's no reason for a drum roll.
Yeah, no drum. Thank you. I don't have to edit that in. I have not edited that, by the way. You've not heard any drum rolls on this show. So if you are listening in the car and you want to see some of the picture quality of the 2 optics we're going to be talking about as our winners, go check out the YouTube video. If you're watching on YouTube, get ready to see some very high resolution video of some winners. I'm going to announce our honorable mention, probably the newest scope on this list, the one that we've reviewed in previous episodes. It is the Pulsar Thermion. The Pulsar Thermion 2 XL50 LRF, the brand new 1024 1.75 base magnification thermal scope, Pulsar's first 1024 thermal scope on the market. Like I said, we just reviewed it. This is going to be our honorable mention. Jason and I, we agree on both of these choices. And I'll tell you why. Obviously, it is beyond 640. So there's only 2 scopes on this list that are beyond 640 resolution. It is, there was a lot of, Jason, you and I kind of fought some people on this, and not fight them on it, but we had a lot of discussion on that base magnification, the 1.75 base magnification, and we can talk about it. I've done a review and I talked about why Pulsar had to start at 1.75, and it was really to keep the size of the optic, the overall size and form factor, the same as their XP50 and their XG50, this is the same form factor as those. So to fit it all in there with this bigger, thermal 1024 thermal core in it, they had to be able to keep it in the same form factor. So it is 1.75. What this means, though, if you want to hunt in the woods, if you want to hunt close range, if you're calling coyotes in the woods, if you're hunting pigs in the woods, but you also need a rifle that you can go out and take long range shots, this is a perfect choice. It's 1.75 at 1024 resolution. You bump it up to 3.5 power. You're still at 512 resolution for long shots. Fantastic. All applications, thermal scope. Obviously, you're going to get the best picture image on the base magnification, but it's got a super long ID range. A very, very long detection range. You and I have not even been able to get close to seeing how far this thing can detect heat, just because we don't have the places out here to do it.
Yeah.
But for $79.99, and $8,000 is a lot of money. But for $79.99, you're getting a 1024 thermal optic that you can hunt with in the deepest forests in Texas and the biggest wide open plains in South Dakota. It is something you could take anywhere. It also has a built-in laser rangefinder. Now, if you look at that rangefinder in the 640 resolution XP50 models and in the XG models, or in the XP versus non-LRF versus the XP LRF, that's $1,000 upgrade. So, if you figure that in, well, man, that's $1,000 upgrade on this $79.99 price. So I think, this is our honorable mention. This, Jason and I definitely both agree on this 100%. And they've done, Pulsar not just came out with a great scope, not just came out with a beyond 640 resolution scope, but they also were able to do it at a good price, $79.99, and with a built-in laser rangefinder. So that's a long-winded way to say that the XL50 is the winner of the honorable mention award.
Yeah, it is. I mean, all I want to say is it is a fantastic optic. I don't want to get into this whole discussion. And we kind of, got into this a little bit when we reviewed it. I know that there's guys that are right now listening saying, okay, Hans just told me it's great for hunting coyotes and, the plains and the corn belt and the wide open country. So this is the very best scope on there. So, I should never go buy one of these Envisions. And no, we're not saying that at all. We've talked as many people out of the XL as we have into it.
It's 100% true. 100% true. Yeah, I've talked them out of it.
Because it goes back to how we started the show. What are you doing? If you're always shooting 200 yards, if you're all, then no, it's probably not the right scope for you. So that's where we get into this. Don't take this show, take our picks, and just run out there and go buy the scope.
Yeah.
There's way more to this. These are tools, and you need to get the right tool for the job. But yes, XL50. I'm not going to lie to you. It's one of my it is. It's just one of my favorite scopes. This low base mag, wide field of view fits me perfectly. Again, kind of like I was talking about, even this RH50P. It's a 2-in-1 because I can go up to 3.5 power and still be at that 512 resolution. Love it. Love the Thermion. I mean, Hans and I can't lie about that. We choose a 30 millimeter tube based scope every time we can. If you've watched all these videos, all these best of this year, you've seen that. So I don't think it needs any lead up. I think it's obvious if anyone is watching this right now and they're still tuned in, they know exactly what we're fixing to pick. There's no question. It is the Infrared Outdoor RS75 1280 by 1024 resolution. This scope has an image quality that is unlike anything that I've ever seen. And I've described this multiple times to people as, and I didn't live through this, okay? But I can imagine if I did. I think this would be like the first time you saw color TV. If you grew up, in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and all you had was black and white, which, I mean, I grew up with black and white TV, but we also had color. So, but if you'd never seen color TV, and then that night they flipped that switch and people that had the consoles that could do it, and it's like, oh my goodness, what just happened? That's what I feel like looking through this 1280. It's unbelievable. I mean, you see the detail that you may not even want to see. I mean, it is crazy what this thing is capable of. And it's exciting because it's the future. And the future is expensive. And I think that, the future's expensive. It is when it comes out, but it gets cheaper. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. This Thermion 2 XL50 is $8,000. All right. I can promise you that if they had not had the pressure of this RS75 being out there, that scope probably would have cost more. And they had to squeeze. I know this because I was involved when they were trying to come up with the price, and they're like, "Oh, we really don't want to go this low." But that's what happens. These manufacturers, that they've got to try to squeeze it down. They got to figure out, okay, if we sell this many, then we can sell it at this price. All right. But if we don't sell enough, we're in trouble because we're selling it too cheap. And then you know how that goes. We've reached this point. All right. Now we can buy more components. We can get them cheaper because we're buying more. And that's how pricing comes down, that pressure. But as you continue to buy more and more, the technology gets less expensive to produce and whatever. You don't care about that lesson in economics. But my point is, I think we're seeing an $8,000 1024 because an $18,000 1280 existed. Now it's a $16,000 scope. The price will continue to come down over time on that. I think we will see other manufacturers, I'm going to say get forced into, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I think they're going to go, guys, we've got to have a 1024. We've got to have a 1280. We've got to, and one day, if Hans and I are still around doing this and we're more gray than we are now, because we're getting there pretty quick, there may be something way beyond 1280. There's probably going to be a day where the entry level thermal scopes are $500 and they're 1280. I mean, that day's probably going to come. Who would have said, 15, 20 years ago that you'd be buying a laptop computer for $300? I mean, who'd have said that you'd have had this cell phone in your hand that does more than your laptop did? So technology changes. It's exciting to see, but this RS-75 is absolutely 100% deserving of this award because what it offers is an image that is just absolutely phenomenal. Also, I should mention, Hans talked about the laser rangefinder and the XL. The RS-75 comes with a laser rangefinder as well. It is their detachable laser rangefinder. It clips onto the side, plugs in via USB, doesn't require any other battery power, integrates fully into the scope. It is something optional. It comes with it. You can take it off and on. Again, Infrared Outdoor has their 5-year warranty with the iRay USA 5 business day turnaround time. So you're getting a lot here, guys. It's a fantastic scope, and I think it's just exciting to have 2 optics above 640 on here, and knowing that eventually there'll be more.
The first time, obviously, we've had 2 optics above 640 resolution on our list. The first time we've had 2 as winners. The RS-75, Infrared Outdoor can always, I guess, point to the fact that they did it first on the consumer market. And, I think when it came into the market, over a year ago, there was a little bit of some sticker shot going on there. But it kind of set the market, and, that kind of set the bar. And we will see, down the road, whether it's a year from now or 2 years or however long, the 1280 resolution will be more common, and like Jason said, the prices are going to come down, but it is worth it, y'all. I know y'all have seen the videos. If you're on social media, you've seen the RS-75 videos that have been produced out there, and they're phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. So congratulations to the 2 winners. We've got the honorable mention, the Pulsar Thermion 2 LRF XL50. And we've got the Infrared Outdoor RS-75. So that is, that you can see now as we talk about the winners why it was a complicated list, because in this category, Jason, how many years in a row was the XRF the winner?
Every year since the XRF was released.
So it was around.
Yeah.
And so this was difficult because we do still recommend the XRF a lot to a lot of customers, even above the 2 choices that we made, because of the conditions they may be hunting in, or if they're taking long range shots. A 3.5 power base magnification, is ideal for certain people out there. So this is a great list, and the high end list, yes, it is spread out. There's a lot of distance in price between what we're talking about. The quality, though, I mean, is in this field, and it should be, is better than we've ever seen. And that's what makes us excited about the future of what's coming out. There's a lot of things, y'all, that are being worked on that we don't even know about, that nobody that knows about, that's being done behind the scenes, that are gonna probably knock our socks off. And we look forward to sharing it at some point.
We do. I mean, I think it's again, it's exciting times. I'm gonna say this, and probably those people aren't even listening anymore. But if you're still here and you're listening to this and you're saying, what do I care about this? This is the rich man's list. I'm an everyday blue collar working guy. I'm just trying to put gas in my truck and feed my kids. And, I want to go out and hunt but who can afford this? We always say this. I get that, but you need people that can afford this buying it, so that it will get less expensive, so that it will continue to trickle down and push those prices down. And that's why we had an entry-level list that we're embarrassed to call entry level, because there's scopes on there that are, you know, $1,900 that were $2,400 before. There's scopes on there that are $2,500 that were $3,300. I mean, it's just pushing down. We've got 640 optics now in that sub $3,000 list. And again, so it takes some time, but it trickles down. And so we need these high end categories, even if it's too expensive for what you want to do, or maybe you can afford it. You go, I can't afford it, but I would never do that. Well, I totally get that. Totally do. You know, again, I say I'm frugal. Hans and my wife say that I'm tight. Whatever. I mean, you know, potato. But I'm making the point though, this is the way of the future, and these scopes are only going to get less expensive over time and continue to trickle down into the more affordable price categories.
So if you're looking for a high-end scope, the only thing that should pop up in your brain is, man, I've got to call Outdoor Legacy. 877-350-1818. You can find everything on the website, outdoorlegacygear.com. We would love to talk to you about one of the scopes on this list, and if it's going to work for you. You might be surprised on the answer. So we can definitely talk through it. We're going to give you some choices. We're going to run it down and see what's going to be best for you. But you can only get this. Can I say expert advice?
I don't know if we're experts. We're
I don't know.
But
you're going to get some type of advice.
We've used all these optics, hunted with all these optics, and
Yeah.
I want to throw this disclaimer in just because, let's be clear, if anybody's listening, we want you to call us, but we want your business. We don't want to just talk to you and you go buy it somewhere else. We want your business. That's what keeps these shows coming. The only way we can do it is for the guys who support us, Hans, myself, the ladies in the office. You support us by making your purchase from us. We're happy to help our customers, not just like Hans is talking about. This is a big deal. I'm going to say this, then I'm going to be done. I'll shut up for the end of the year. You won't have to hear me again until 2024.
Man.
But it is more than just buying the right optic. That's a big deal. Okay. You got to buy the right optic. You're spending, I don't care if you're spending $500. You need to know you're getting the right thing. But there's a lot that goes on after that. And you may need help. You may need help zeroing it. You may have a weird question of why is it doing this? You may need something down the road, and that's what we're here for. So I always say we help you before the sale. We will hold your hand during the sale because we have ladies that will take your order over the phone if you're more comfortable doing it that way, and then we'll help you for as long as you own that optic. We'll do our best to answer your questions and help you any way that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. So well said, Jason. And so if you are wanting to find us on all the social medias, the Late Night Vision Show, Outdoor Legacy, Hans ETX, you can just go to Instagram, you can go to Facebook, you can go to YouTube, find it all. We're doing a lot of content, a lot of videos, not just this video, but some of the stuff that you see online. You'll find Jason shelling out some of his expert advice on the Facebook forums every so often. So you can go say hi to him there. And we really appreciate it. And we will be back at the end of the year. I promise you that. And we've got more shows coming up, more content, more best of shows.
Yep.
And we're not even done with this yet. We got night vision, we got thermal monocular, and we round it out, Jason.
All right, guys, listen, we hope to see y'all again. It'll be 2024, a whole new year. We look forward to it. We wish you and your family a happy new year, the very best for the whole 2024 year. We're excited about it. We're getting ready for SHOT Shows. We got a couple more shows that Hans mentioned, and then it's going to be SHOT Show, SHOT Show, SHOT Show. If you don't like that, you're not going to like this show. We're going to be talking about all the new stuff that's going to be going on out in Las Vegas in the middle to end of January. So, guys, stick to this show. Stick to this channel for all the latest breaking news, as well as reviews, as well as discussions on, night hunting, hogs, coyotes, whatever it is. Between now and next year, y'all stay safe in the fields. Keep making those bacon pancakes.